regards to that. Also with TV, I guess TV and shows, they play a big part. Right now, when I watch a TV show and I see a dark skinned girl that is very beautiful, I'm like, okay, wow, this is really nice. Although people will be will be like, okay, kind of praising the light skinned one, but also the dark skinned one, seeing her in her natural beauty, in her natural state, that also tells a lot.
And more than that, when they commit offenses like juvenile offenses, darker skinned adolescents get longer sentences compared to lighter skinned adolescents. And then for the men, of course, it's interesting to see how the pendulum swings depending on the community that you're in and how social constructs come and go. Like, you grow up being dark, and then you get suspended. You get longer sentences. You're less suitable for marriage. Like all of these things keep stacking up against you from a very small issue of you're dark skinned. And some of these things you might never know because then you end up in the workplace and not only do you have this very bad track record, but you're dark skinned and that predisposes you to being to expressing so sorry experiencing microaggression like it, it's sort of like a dominoes effect that just starts off by simple act of something that's out of your control morphs into this giant thing that is so beyond you, so it can be bad depending on um what I'm looking at it from. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think while preparing for it, this topic, found a study even saying that when they compared, this one was done in the States, but I think it still stands. When they compared the percentage of people who received the capital punishment, the death penalty, they found that it was more common for you as a prisoner to actually receive the death penalty if you're dark skinned than a light skinned person, which for me is this has nothing to do with it. If you'd committed a crime that is deserving for the death penalty, your skin tone should not be a factor, right? And it's just messed up the entire thing, and it's still happening to this day. And when you look at the countries that has like the highest rate of buying lightening cream, I think it's Nigeria.
Yes, I,
Worldwide is like 60 over 60%. Yeah, like this study was done in 2019. This is a recent study, and I'm like, this is just messed up. 60% of Nigerians are using um, lightening creams, whether they are men or women. It doesn't matter. They didn't
Yeah.
specify. So it goes really
Um,
deep.
I mean, in Nigeria, it's a little bit bad. I mean, both men and women, they do all use lightning cream. In
Mm.
Senegal, also, it's also very bad. And I believe with Gambia, it's because of the influence from Senegal. Senegalese people, like 1 in 3 or 1 in 2, every woman, almost 1 in 2 women will be doing skin lightening. So it's very like it's normal kind of.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised that it's Nigeria that has the higher percentage because I think Maria and I know that our brothers and sisters across the border in DRC Congo, we
Yeah.
know them by just you look at someone who has light and you're like that person must be from across the border. So in my mind I thought perhaps
Congo.
they're the ones that they're the ones that have the highest number. So as you've all explained, there's so many dangers, but where do we start to overcome this? How do we move forward? Because as much as it is rooted, a lot of our African problems are rooted in maybe rooted and also exacerbated by colonialism. So how do we move forward with this colorism thing? It does affect the men, but I believe we as women, because it's a real strong beauty aspect, we suffer much more the backlash of colorism than our male counterparts. So where do we start from to overcome this? Where do we start from to ensure that the next generations are much more comfortable in their skins, and also the ones who have already been, for lack of a better word, damaged by the whole stereotype? How do we move forward to overcome this otherism?
Hmm. I think
I
that would. Oh,
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
Oh,
Go
thank you. I think that would be, first of all, you need to increase representation of dark people in everyday life media. It doesn't matter if we think it's really ridiculous, like to have a drama, let's say a regular drama or any program, TV program, and people will say it's just a TV program. It has nothing to do with the society and everything. But people, uh, I don't know, people tend to program themselves, even if they don't know, if they're not aware of it, they tend to be programmed with what they see on TV. So even if you don't agree with it, deep down inside of you, because like you've been seeing the same messages for years now. So deep down inside you, when it's like when you want to get married, for example, the number one thing you, at least in Sudan, the number one thing on that list will be she must be white or she must be light skinned. That's the number one thing. And then after you get married and everything, I had actually family members, and then they would be complaining about why does she lighten her skin. And I'll be, when you went and proposed to her, you actually chose her because she was light skinned. That what attracted you to her in the first place. You didn't say she needs to be educated, highly educated, or she comes from a good family, or has a good personality, or anything. Number one, you said she needs to be light. So I think by increasing the positive representation of dark skin people, or at least regular skin, no bleaching or anything in the media, and they need to be positive representation, not random things. People will actually love themselves. They will relearn to love themselves as they are, not to just go around and change their skin color for something imaginary and it doesn't exist.
Before you other ladies chip in, I'd like Mara, we're going to just digress a bit. I'd like Mara to tell us a bit of her story. She said she says she's on the lighter scale
Yeah.
of lighter side of the scale, but
Mm.
she didn't understand how far-reaching colorism was until she came and she became a minority.
Yeah, that was really an eye-opening opener for me. Before coming here, if you're living in a country like mine, or if you only been dealing with people who looks like you, right? You are the it, right? You are the desired stereotype. So you're always light skinned. You don't face any judgment or any discrimination. Um, in school, in university, in your work environment, there is nothing. People are always friendly to you. You are always smiling. You are always helpful. And the only thing is just when they compare you to somebody who's lighter than you, but it's not as hard, like as really tough. Because I have one of my best friends are really dark skinned. I think she's even similar shade to you, Murungi. And we always like, we went to the same school, we went to the same uni, we also worked in the same hospital, and our life was completely different. People were really mean to her for no reason whatsoever, just because she was who she was. No, nothing. She didn't say anything. She can be really a really pleasant person, and people will still treat her really badly. And then I came to Japan, and like within one night, I'm the darker person in this country. I actually had a lady in a drugstore nearby Belshire. I went to buy a skin cream, and she offered me a skin cream with a whitening agent in it. Because she said, and I quote, you will be more beautiful if you lighten your skin. And when I said I don't want to, this woman didn't understand why I don't want to lighten my skin. So now I'm the dark person here, and I realized that having the proper skin tone in the society you're living in makes a lot of difference. Everything in your life, just not just people actually desiring you or anything. Everything mundane, paperwork, buying your groceries, shopping, everything aspect of your life is affected by your skin tone. So yeah, that was Japan was actually an eye opener. That's actually nice. Yeah.
Right, thank you for that. Ladies, over to you. How do we move forward?
Yeah, I guess Marwa said it all. Representation. I believe like starting from when you were kids, given like a doll that looks like you might help you appreciate more. Like okay, like there are people like me, like, and it's okay, it's normal how I look and stuff. And then growing up, also being like included in stuff. Like for example, the company I work for, we stand very strongly with regards to diversity, not just women but also dark skin. So I mean, I as a black engineer, I feel like I'm very much like included in the company that I work for. My voice matters. And when people see that, when young people see that, okay, this is a black girl working in this company, they might want to also embrace their skin color with regards to that. Also with TV, I guess TV and shows, they play a big part. Right now, when I watch a TV show and I see a dark skinned girl that is very beautiful, I'm like, okay, wow, this is really nice. Although people will be will be like, okay, kind of praising the light skinned one, but also the dark skinned one, seeing her in her natural beauty, in her natural state, that also tells a lot, and it helps us more to be more embracing of our skin color and what we look like. So those two things, I think representation from outside will help change the mindset of people that are currently kind of damaged. Because I have heard black men say, okay, I want my wife to be light skinned so that my daughter or my child will be light skinned. Also, us women, we get the negative part. I guess we having support from black men, loving their own skin, appreciating women with that particular own skin. Yeah, but it for me, I just see it as preference. A guy can be like, okay, I like light skin, that's what I like, and another guy might be like, I like, yeah, and another guy might be like, I like dark skin. So it's also has to do with preference, but I also think support from the black men might also be good.
Yeah, especially because everyone is telling us to get married, eh? I mean, especially as women, as Fatu said, the men have to also come to, join the fight, because unfortunately in Africa, every woman is prepared for marriage. So, so the men also need to come out and say, it is okay, me, my wife can be dark. So that also the dark sisters like us can be like, we're also desirable. Sorry, over to you, Maria.
Yeah, so like in addition to representation and like a collective effort from not just the women but also the men, especially the ones who are lighter and all of that, I would say that it's very difficult to tackle something that you don't really know the shape or the matter of. So I think we begin by creating platforms where we can talk openly and candidly about these things. So I have to tip my hat off to you, Marungi, for creating a space to discuss these very nuanced and at times extremely sensitive topics. And I think for me, that's a very good place to start. I guess it ties into representation as well. But the way I see it, it's if we don't know what racism looks like, if we don't know how it can affect both people like me who are on a darker side, and people of a lighter hue like Fatu and perhaps Mara and other people. Like, if we don't know what that looks like within our own lives and within the workspace and within the romantic spheres, if we don't know what that really means, then it becomes hard to tackle the issue. So I think it's really nice that these places where these things are talked about openly and candidly, I think that's a very important thing. But then also, I guess as people, it's very easy to swing the pendulum. Like, it's easy for us to move from one side of saying, oh, dark is ugly, to the other side of dark is beautiful and light is ugly, right? So I think what we need to do is shift the focus away from the outward appearance, because I think one of the the sneaky things about colorism is that it draws our sense of self-worth away from who we are as whole people to what we look like on the outside. So we need to shift the focus and tell people, especially young girls, whether damaged or not, that you are a whole person. Who you are, it encompasses your interests, your intellect, your passions, your desires, your like everything. So if somebody one day tells you that you're less than or more than because of the way you look like, don't listen to them, because that's just one aspect of who you are. We need to shift the conversation away from the sneakiness of colorism, because its attempt is to make us believe that, look at you, like, look at your skin, it's so smooth and black and beautiful. I don't know, maybe if you're not dark, you've not heard of the phrase black beauty. Like, why does my beauty need to be qualified by a skin tone? Can't I just be beautiful?
Black don't crack.
Yeah.
Like, I think very important for us to shift the focus away from the outward appearance, because that's a tactic of colorism. And if we are to play that game, it's just never going to end,
Yeah.
because then we will begin, oh, black is the only thing that's beautiful. And I think we're getting there. We're almost getting there. Because I've had guys walk up to me, strange guys that I don't even know, and they'll be like, you're so beautiful, like very weird, like, okay, you're being. I don't want this kind of attention now, you know? And I think that's a very easy thing to happen, because we are human. It's just easy to like throw the baby away with the bathwater. So yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was long and winded, but
But you're
No.
absolutely right, because I think that's where also feminism started off on a certain foot. Now it's really at the extremes, being pulled, you know. So I guess, just like you said, we need to truly focus. And also, you reminded me of a story where you just said that black is starting to be the ish thing. I think that has also happened with natural hair. You
Yes.
know, I've been a natural all my life by choice. Maybe a little bit of rebellion in there, because, but I've been a natural hair by choice. But I see some people becoming naturalistas simply because it's the ish thing now, and I'm like, no, please get to natural hair because you want it, because it is not easy to go with it. And then I also recently watched. Yes, I took off 1 hour of my life and I watched a documentary. Actually, I watched it with Mara, about the German lady who has turned herself black
What was her name?
completely.
Martina Big, I think that was her name.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
I was extremely horrified by
Jeez.
by her decision.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't have to really go to extremes. It really doesn't have to. Yeah.
Yes.
Mara wanted to say something. Please.
No, I just remembered her now. What did she call herself? She was an interracial woman, right? Like, she's a fully white German woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, and now she's injecting herself with injection to turn herself black. And she's identifying now as an African woman. She had like plastic surgery. It was just ridiculous.
And her recent boyfriend is also on the road to becoming African too.
Yeah, I that's the thing. There is this thin line, because black in general, regardless of your shade, has been like deeply racialized and fetishized. So people tend to put and believe certain stereotypes. If you don't fit the stereotype, so you are basically not black enough. So you need to act in this way, especially if you're a black woman. If you're dark skinned, you need to look this way, you need to act this way. Otherwise, if you're not behaving in this stereotype, you're uppity. If you are light skinned and also you're not behaving in the stereotype that has been set to your group, then you are what was because I had a mulatto.
Yeah.
That was the word, a tragic mulatto. You don't fit. I don't know. So for me, it's just confusing because which one am I?
Neither.
And yeah, neither. And I don't need to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's the thing, the stereotypes.
Perhaps add on to that, I think Maria's mother did a good job, raising her and telling her how beautiful she is, despite
Yeah.
the fact that community was saying otherwise. So mothers out there and fathers too. I mean, aunties, uncles, we need to
Aunties.
tell you, um, we shall not go side eyeing our African aunties. Today is not that day, but
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Don't.
but I think also telling the dark skinned girls, even the boys, that they're just enough and they're just beautiful doesn't.
Yes.
I think that alone does so much for someone's self esteem. So, ladies, anything you'd like to add on, or perhaps words of advice to a young girl out there, or, you know, so that we can all feel comfortable in our own skins?
Yeah, I mean, like to come to a resolution, I mean, the resolution or the goal that we want to get to is like to not associate black with dirty or poor or any negative thing. Like if someone has a personality that is bad or anything like that, that's on them, irrespective of their skin tone. And taken out of the to do that, it's basically with regards to representation and how people are growing out there, what black people are doing out there to change that narrative from them being ghetto and stuff. That's how we start. And for advice that I have to give to a younger out there, I mean, growing up, I feel like I had some issues, some sort of like insecurity with my skin tone, but I
Mm.
learned to love my skin tone. I know that there are people, there are men out there that desire me because of my, not because of my skin tone, but because just how I am. And some people might be like, okay, I don't like dark skin, I can date her. And that's okay. Everyone with their own preference, yeah. Someone else likes me, and that's okay. Yeah. So I learned to love myself, learn to love my skin tone and shine through it, shine through how I look, and that's it.
Maria, Mara,
Um, yeah, I guess for me it would go back. Like I think I can only share from my experience. And like I said, I grew up not giving 2 cents about the tone of my skin. It was just never something that came up. Like it was just never a factor in any of the things that I evaluated when I was appraising myself. So I would pass on to the same idea to whoever and just say that your sense of self-worth is it has nothing to do with what you look like. So you are amazing whether you're dark or you're light. You're amazing because of what not only what you look like, but because of who you are on the inside, um, your desires, your virtues, like the idea that you're patient and you have a strong sense of justice, that makes you a beautiful person in addition to what you look like on the outside. So don't worry, like don't even give 2 cents about what you look like on the outside. That is it's an issue.
Yeah.
Mara from our light skinned sister,
As yeah. Oh, now I feel the pressure representing the entire light population. Okay. So no, as somebody who actually went through the entire journey, like straightening their hair, using lightening cream as well, all of that, and went through that thing to hell and back. I'm going to say one thing. Your skin tone doesn't define you. You are as beautiful the way you were born, whether you're dark or light or in between. Again, being a good person has nothing to do with your skin tone. You can be as light as a snowstorm and still be a bad person, and you can be as dark as midnight and still be a good person. And this has nothing to do with your skin tone. So there is nothing that you can do about this. It's just the way you were born. So love yourself. It's really beautiful. And besides, dark skin is actually good. You don't need to deal with hyperpigmentations. You don't need to deal with all of the nastiness of light skin and sunburns and whatever. This is me be ranting here, so whatever. Forget about this. Love yourself. Cherish yourself as you are. Work on your personality. And if somebody wants to be with you for you, yourself, your personality, and knows your worth, then be with that person. If they don't want to be with you because you're light skin or dark skin, then yeah, kudos to them. Just find you somebody who knows your worth, or don't. Who cares? Do you? That's what I'm saying. Love yourself. And don't listen to your aunties. Don't listen to them. They don't listen to your aunties. Don't. They will hate me, I know. So I don't care.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for sharing your experiences on this topic. We hope to see you next time. You know, with a different topic or a continuation. It's always a pleasure to have all of you, and to all our listeners and our viewers. Thank you so much. Catch you next time. Bye.
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 All right.